So today we're not out looking for geocaches. Today we're in here and we're going to be preparing some geocaches. The video today is more to show you guys how to prepare a great geocache. In particular, we're going to look at the ammo can. Ammo cans, waterproof, snowproof, pretty much indestructible. But as they come, they don't make a good geocache. You do need to make some modifications towards an ammo can to get it up to speed. Today's video is going to show you guys how to turn an ammo can into a really good geocache. As I said, ammo cans, they do make the best geocaches. The problem is, as they come, they have stuff all over them. Like this. Cartridges, small arms. Or worse still, in this particular case, explosive. The problem is geocaches sometimes get found by muggles. And muggles have no idea what it is. A geocache that has all of this stuff all over it is likely to get reported to the authorities. But a geocache that has something like explosive written on the side of it, well, you've got to remember, the authorities don't know what's inside of here. And when they see that on the side of it, that's when the bomb squad gets called. And no one wants to go down that path. It's very important to get all of this stuff off the side of your geocache before you place it. A good place to start is to just start pulling some of these stickers off. A few of them will just be able to come off by hand. Yep. Some pick around in the corners. You'll be able to pull some of the larger bits off. Paint scraper is a handy thing to have. That can help you get some of the bigger stuff off. Rightio, well that's pretty much got most of the stickers off our ammo can, although it's still not 100% complete. We've still got some work to do. So this is a wire tip on the end of a drill. We're going to use that to try and get the last remaining bits and pieces off the top and sides of our ammo can. Very important to make sure you're wearing the safety goggles, of course. And when you're clamping an ammo can, just a light amount of pressure. They are susceptible to being bent, so just enough to hold it in place so it's not going to move too much, but you don't want to crush the thing. Take the drill, hold it safely, and just go for it. So now we've got our ammo can looking reasonably well. We've got rid of all the little stickers and the little bits and pieces off it. Now might be time to have a good look inside of it. see what it looks like. So now we've got the outside of our ammo can looking pretty alright. We've got rid of all the stickers. There's nothing on the side of this thing that says that it's explosive. The exterior is looking okay. The problem is, with a lot of the second-hand ammo cans that you're buying, inside, it can get quite rusty. The rust doesn't actually affect the overall performance of the whole ammo can, but as a finder opening up to see that, this doesn't look right. We can do better than that. This stuff is a rust remover. It turns rust into a fine powder and stuff. It's great stuff. To put the stuff on, a good little wire brush is handy to have. Another good trick is just to get better access. You can actually take the lid off most. Just pour a little bit onto the rust inside. Just a few drops. You don't need a lot of this stuff. Move it back around a bit. Get in there with a wire brush. And just ease the rust off. Get a towel, just put the towel in there, absorb up as much of that stuff as possible. You don't want to leave it too moist inside. Make sure it's an old towel. Clean up as much of that gunk that you've scraped off as possible. Should have the inside of your geocache looking a hell of a lot better. So now it's time to paint your geocache. It's probably best to leave it into the two separate parts of the base and the lid. Just makes painting the whole thing a lot easier. Whenever you're painting any of the geocaches, I always recommend Rust-Oleum. I'm not paid by them at all. I own no shares in the company at all, but it is by far and away the best spray paint out there. Particularly if you're painting plastics. We're not, we're painting metal. But at the same time, this thing adheres to plastic. It bonds to plastic, it bonds to metals. It's about twice the price, 3 times the price of what you buy the normal spray paint for. But you get about 4 or 5 times more yardage out of it as well too. So overall, it's actually worth a fair bit. If you've never spray painted anything before, the idea behind spray painting is keep moving. Keep it moving all the time. As long as you keep it moving, you're not going to get excessive amounts of paint in any one particular area. So it's just a matter of getting a nice distance back, not too close, not too far away, and just spraying it so that it's constantly moving all the time. That's a pretty good start for the first coat. I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll see you guys later. So I've been back a few times over the last couple of days, provided 3 or 4 more coats of paint to the side of our ammo can. Overall looking quite even on the outside now, even looking still quite good on the inside. There is, however, one more thing that we really need to do to this ammo can to make it into a good geocache. In fact, this comes down to something which is required by the guidelines. On the outside of a geocache, it is supposed to be clearly labelled a geocache, and this at the moment isn't. We're going to fix that up now. So what we need to do to our geocache now is to make it look like a geocache. We need to make sure on the outside of it clearly definable that this thing is a geocache. Now I usually do this in either yellow or white. I'm actually out of yellow or white paint at the moment, so I'm going to give red a go today, just to see what it looks like. This is just a stencil which I actually made up. You can buy them. There's a number of shops around which make geocaching stencils, and they probably look a lot better than what my one does. I made mine purely by cutting out a piece of paper. So a piece of paper, putting up a stencil on it, laminating it, and then cutting around, and it holds it all into place. One of the more difficult things is to get this thing to not only stand still, but to keep it close up against the metal as you're spraying. If you have it raised up, and it raises up just half a centimetre, it gives the paint a chance to get in underneath, and you get a very undefined writing. You can still make it out, but it's very hard. I use these things here. You probably recognise these from other geocaches. These are rare earth magnets. It pays to be very careful with these things, because they can snap your fingers. Put one in each one of the corners, just to hold the whole thing down, and it will hold the stencil up close to the ammo can. You don't need to spray a lot of paint on here, just one coat over the top. Same deal as what you're doing when you're painting on black. Keep a distance away, keep it moving all the time, until you can make that. Underneath there you can see the red coming through. Keep it nice and even over the top of it. Leave the stencil on and we'll put it off in a few minutes. Okay, so it's been about an hour or so we should be touch dry by now. Just a matter of taking off the magnets. When you take the magnets off, you put them down. It's important to try and keep them apart from each other, because once they do see each other, they kind of like to attract to each other. That's what magnets do. And if your fingers are in between the two, they don't care. They just go for it anyway. So try and keep the magnets apart from each other. As you do. Take the stencil off. Not 100% perfect, but that is a well labelled geocache. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label that side. Okay, so now we're pretty much at the point where we can take this off. I've put a few different labels over our ammo can to show that it clearly is geocache. Any muggle finding this, they may not know what a geocache is, but it says it's an official geocache. They can look it up. The authorities, if they found something like this, they're going to know exactly what it is. That is now a complete ammo can, ready to be turned into a geocache. Let's do that now. So here is our ammo can, all ready to go. This here is 2 litre systemic container. As a geocache by itself, it's probably one of the worst systemic containers. This easily moves up and down and can let moisture in. The reason though it's a great one for this is it fits perfectly into a 30 cal ammo can. Still closes up. It's the last line of defence if any moisture does get into there. This can stop it from getting in. Now we've got to fill this up. Rule number 1, every geocache needs to have a logbook. I generally put my logbooks into a Ziploc bag if I can. This is tough paper. It's actually paper made out of stone, so even if it gets wet, you can still write on it. It makes a really good logbooks. Put it into a Ziploc bag as a not final line of defence on that. You've got a logbook. We've got a pen. We'll put that in as well too. Most geocaches should know that they need to bring a pen. and a stash note. I laminate my stash notes. You don't need to if you don't have to, but again, it's another line of defence. That's almost complete. There's one more thing. You need some swag. I try and put my swag into a Ziploc bag as well and separate it from the log. Swag does tend to get wet sometimes, particularly if it's plastics. So some Lego men, Hot Wheels cars, an Army man, some of the dominoes from Woolworths, a surf life-saving badge, an old coin. Some decent swag that kids will enjoy if they get up to the geocache and find it. Put that into a decent sized Ziploc bag as well. And that can all sit inside the Systema container. That can go into there. That sits into there. Comes down, locks, holds into place beautifully, and there you have a well labelled, well presented, ready to find geocache. Thanks for watching.